and welcome to the Primal Fit Weekly Challenge. My name's Alex Shirley and I'm here today in Rose Bay. Now this week's challenge is to do an interval training session in the next 7 days. Now most of us are time poor and we lead busy lives, and we think that to get fit we need to spend hours pounding the pavement or hunched over a bike. I'm here to tell you that it's not the most effective way to get fit. It leads to a lot of wear and tear on the body, increases your stress levels, and it doesn't really give you great results. Now, there's a lot of research out there today showing that the most effective way to get fit is to actually use interval training, which means short bursts of harder work with rest periods in between. There's some fantastic research showing that this really is the best way to get fit, especially if you're time poor. There's a McMaster's University study, and this took 2 groups of fit people and they measured their endurance on an exercise bike. And one of the groups did nothing but interval training for 2 weeks, and the other group did nothing but steady rate training for 2 weeks. Now the group that did the steady training made absolutely no improvement in their fitness after 2 weeks' time. They were still fit, but they hadn't improved. And the other group, they doubled their endurance in just 2 weeks. There was another great study called the Tabata study, and this study looked at one group of athletes that was doing a series of 20-second sprints in a 4-minute period, and they repeated that for 20 minutes, and they compared that to participants that were doing 60 to 90 minutes of steady rate training. Now the ones that were doing the interval training only actually did about 2 minutes and 30 seconds of actual hard work with lots of rest period in between, and they got the same improvement in oxygen utilization as the group that was doing 60 to 90 minutes of steady training. So what would you rather do? 2.5 minutes of hard work, or 60 minutes to 90 minutes hunched over a bike or jogging along and get the same results? So how do we go about interval training?
Now, although there's no single accepted formula for the ratio of intense exercise to recovery, Paul Chek in 2004 recommends that the high intensity phase should be long and strenuous enough that a person is out of breath, typically around 30 seconds to 3 minutes of exercise at high intensity, with 30 seconds to 5 minutes of rest. Now, if you're of average fitness and have typical stresses of modern living, then you shouldn't go above 80 to 85% maximum heart rate or a strong effort. If you have no medical conditions, you have low lifestyle stresses and have good levels of physical fitness, then you will respond better to the stresses of exercise and can therefore train much harder and up to 90% of maximum heart rate or a very strong effort. Now, your recovery period should not last long enough for your heart rate to return to its resting rate. So how do we go about doing an interval session? Well, a typical session could involve finding a good set of stairs and going full pelt up it and then walking back down and repeating this 6 to 8 times. Or you could go down to the beach or running track and do a 400 meter sprint or an 800 meter sprint and walking recovery in between each one. Now you can do interval training with any type of exercise that's out there. So you can add intervals into your swimming, into cycling, into your walking, whatever it is that really interests you.
Now, interval training isn't for everyone. If you're just getting back into your fitness, you haven't done exercise in a long time, it can be too intense for you. The same as if you're ill or have some kind of disease, again it can be too stressful on your body. Also, make sure you do listen to your body when you do interval training. It's important that you're not feeling sick or you're about to throw up or you're dizzy or lightheaded. Obviously, just go at an intensity level that's right for you. Also, it's important to warm up properly before your first set of intervals. So spend 10 to 15 minutes of walking around or light jogging, just so that your body's warm, and take that first interval that you're going to do. That's the one where you're more likely to injure yourself if you go too hard. So be careful on your first one. Just take it at 3/4 pace. Also, when you finish your interval session, don't just stop and go off to work. Make sure you cool down properly to help you recover quicker, and end with some light stretches as well. I hope you decide to take up this challenge. You'll feel great for it, and it will really make the difference in your fitness. So I look forward to speaking to you next week for your next challenge. Thank you.